Hi, we are on air, guys.
Around the world, coronavirus has affected everyone.
Was in the middle of a crisis.
We are in lockdown.
Teaching from home has been very challenging.
It has created challenges you have had to adapt to as teachers, students, parents.
There has been a humongous change.
We have to create this sense of global community.
Sometimes alone, sometimes together, but always as one. You have balanced life at home with teaching, learning, and new experiences. Teachers have found new ways to deliver outstanding English lessons at home that inspires learning.
It's a circle, very good. Here I am.
Students have motivated each other to speak,
Please stay home to protect yourself and your family.
listen, read, and write when not always together.
Good morning, children.
I have this feeling that I've learned loads.
I have drawn a picture of moon.
And of course, parents have supported their children's learning, creating classrooms everywhere and anywhere they can. You will look back with pride at what you have achieved. You continue to deliver hope and support to each other and the community around you.
It was actually really amazing having everyone checking in from around the world.
I love my job so much.
Thanks to all the teachers for making distance learning a successful experience.
So no matter when your school returns, whatever your classroom looks like, wherever you are, just know that we will continue to support all of you every step of the way. So thank you to our Cambridge communities all around the world.
I want to thank Cambridge Assessment English.
You have given me the best advice.
Thanks to our teachers.
Thank you, teachers, so much.
Thank you so much for all your
You are
support.
the best teachers ever.
Thank you for everything.
Yeah, hi everyone. This is Apoorv. So we'll be starting shortly. Just gonna wait for a couple of few more seconds for everybody to join in. So on the starting note, good morning all. We welcome you to the we welcome you all to the annual coordinators conference 2020. We hope that you are staying safe. It's very encouraging to see that how are we adapting to the changes that the pandemic has brought in, especially in the education sector. Teachers are readily moving to online teaching overnight, and institutions leaving no stone unturned to ensure that their students are at the heart of what they do. BEST is an example of the dedication towards their profession. So keeping in line with this, our annual Cambridge Coordinators Conference is an opportunity for teachers and educational leaders from different regions and contexts to apply new concepts, share knowledge, and discuss common challenges in offering the Cambridge English language qualifications. Professional development is the key priority across our conferences, where teachers are encouraged to reflect teaching practice when back in the classroom. We are working on to provide support for every teacher, helping them to prepare to be ready for the evolving role of teaching in 2020 and beyond. So this year annual coordinators conference is structured to be a pathway to the global Cambridge live experience, which is starting today till 10th September 2020, with a line of interesting ELT talks and 10 Inspire sessions hosted by 30 speakers from all around the world. There is really something for everyone. So with that note, I would like to hand it over to Mr. T.K. Arunachalam. He's the Regional Director, Cambridge Assessment, to start the conference. I will go to you.
Good morning, everyone. While I get started, Apurv, it'll be helpful if you can also start with the poll question for us, please. So on your screen, you will see, I think if you're joined on a laptop, you will see on your right, on a mobile, you will see below the screen, there is a question. It's for us to understand better. We already have 185 people who have joined in. So please go ahead, click what describes you and your organization best so that it's easier for us to know who's attending this conference. So it'll just take less than 5 seconds. I think we'll wait for another 10 seconds for people to finish their voting before we get started. I think we roughly have about 80% of them who are existing, who are part of the Cambridge community already, and about 20% who are looking to join the Cambridge community in the near future. So good morning, everyone. As Apurv described, my name is Arunachalam. I may have met many of you over the conferences that we have held over the last many years. I lead on the work for Cambridge Assessment English in South Asia. This year's annual conference is the first one. We are doing it completely digitally. I think we all have to evolve. And normally we would have done a 8-city or a 10-city coordinators conference where we come in person, meet up with all of you, hear you out, and see how we can support you. But this year it is different. The priority for us is that these are really uncertain times across India, across South Asia, and Sri Lanka, Nepal, Bangladesh. We have colleagues from Maldives who have joined us today. We really wish and hope that you and your family are safe. I think that's priority for the whole Cambridge community. I think while learning can go on remotely, I think health is something that is really, really important for us to kind of take care of. It has been unprecedented. These words like lockdown, COVID-19 were not there in our vocabulary. Now everyone's using it casually. It has brought down a lot of things to a halt. The economy has come to a halt. But the only thing we cannot say is that it has not stopped learning. We've had teachers who almost overnight transformed into digital teachers using technology with almost no training assistance, no prior experience, just dived into this whole role of remote teaching. It could be Zoom, Google Meet, WebEx, whatever is the format. I think teachers have really shown resilience, and I can see more than 200 people have joined in. At heart, most of you are teachers. So I think that's the most wonderful thing that has ever happened to learning. While other industries have stuck, they're kind of complaining about things being shut down. I think it's only for learning where I think it kind of remained 24 hours on using technology. I think this is an ideal situation where we hope that a child has access to devices, a teacher has got access to devices, and the learning could happen seamlessly. On paper, this is what digital learning was supposed to be, but all of us in South Asia know that this is far from reality. Teachers do not have the kind of technology or devices that you can use to comfortably deliver online learning. But did that stop our teachers? No, I think our teachers really stepped up to the plate. They used innovation at the local end. I think on your screen you will see a teacher using a thread and a hanger to kind of impart learning, make sure that the kids can see what she's writing on the board. Like that, I think you have examples of teachers using refrigerator trays to kind of show the writing. So there's so much innovation. I think all of these capabilities was always there with our teachers, but when a crisis comes, these are the teachers who actually stepped up and showcased to the whole world that the teaching community is really concerned about delivering quality learning. But I think while the teachers have innovated, I think this is a video I'm sure many of you would have seen that went viral in many parts of South Asia, where this young child, maybe he or she is in his own world. I think the child is in its world. There is online teaching happening, and probably looks like child's grandmother who is actually doing the activity. So there is a gap between reality of what digital learning can subscribe to and achieve, and there is the truth of what exactly happens inside a classroom. There is also fatigue setting in for online learning while people are getting used to it. I think somewhere the real focus is on learning. It is not about delivering a lecture. It is not about completing syllabus, completing portions, completing a chapter, completing a lesson. It is about how much the children can learn. Similarly, we have people from higher education today. I think they've also adapted to online learning where the interest spans slightly different. So when these difficult times come and you cannot go on with your regular work, I think across the board organizations, including Cambridge, we are all affected. How can we kind of not do regular stuff? How can we change the way we work? How can we support exams to be delivered even in these difficult circumstances? So today we will look at some examples of how many schools, many of our partners who have really bucked the trend of delivering learning and examinations in these very difficult times. Just a snapshot of what Cambridge team in South Asia has done. I think in the last 4.5, 5 months, we have delivered more than 43 webinars. I'm sure many of you have attended that. To include preparation centers, teachers, parents, students, HR managers, to make sure that we bring the whole community together. If you're not part of the 20,000 people who participated in it, feel free to be in touch with the Cambridge team. We are more than happy to support you. What we used this lockdown was also to kind of support some of the work that we do in South Asia. While traditionally Cambridge qualifications are accepted across the world for higher education and immigration, we feel that the domestic companies will also need to recognize Cambridge qualification. So we ran a sustained campaign in this period to make sure top corporates in this region are accepting Cambridge qualification. So in the future, when the children come out of maybe the colleges, they have a ready recognition from these organizations. The last part would be to kind of indicate to you that I'm sure along with the coordinators conference, you all have registered for the Cambridge live experience as well. As my colleague Apur mentioned, we have a lineup of wonderful world-leading speakers, activities that would inspire you from today till the next the next 3 days. We have these activities. Please do take time out to attend, but if there is a particular session timings are not convenient, feel free to get back to us. We will probably share a recording with you as well. With that, what I will try and do is I will pass this over, I think, to my colleague Kevin in a minute. I think what has really happened is that while COVID has shut down schools, shut down colleges, it could not shut down learning, and it could not shut down delivery of examination. So we are very proud of the Cambridge community, teachers, educators who have stepped up to the plate to support parents and children in these very difficult times. With that, let me pass it over to my colleague Kevin to take over how we have supported teachers, or we plan to continue to support teachers in the future. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Arun, for that lovely welcome and for setting the scene today. Very good morning to all the school leaders, teachers, coordinators, educators in the room today. My name is Kevin Coyne, and I'm the Key Account Manager for South Asia. Today, I'll be speaking to you for the next 15 minutes on how, as a teacher, you can support your students and how we are here to support you to deliver learning digitally. I know there's a lot of resources, but I'm just going to focus on 7 main resources today. The first one being Inspire. It's a one-stop shop for you as a teacher. I will give you the link on the chat box once I finish my presentation. So this will this will help you to, even though you're not able to make notes today, but if you're able to have this document with you, you can always refer to it. It's like a ready reckoner. We've also developed for you training materials for students as well as for teachers that you can use digitally. We've started off with the young learners starters, and then we'll be moving on to movers and flyers in a week, and then to ket and pet. I will talk to you about the Cambridge English weekly plan. And as a teacher, you don't need to reinvent the wheel, but we have made a plan for you. You just have to tell us how many hours you have to train, what subject you want to train, and Cambridge will give you an entire lesson plan and an entire breakup. Fabulous resources called as Speak and Improve and Write and Improve. You may have heard about Write and Improve, but based on feedback, we've also come out with Speak and Improve. So there could be no other greater news for teachers today, which you can go ahead and you can use. We have Virtually Anywhere, which would help you to develop the listening skills of your students. Not forgetting our Cambridge English TV, which is there on YouTube, which has all the resources, and a quick look at the app as well as the teacher Facebook page that we have for Cambridge Assessment English. So these are the 7 resources, but like I told you, there's a lot of other resources on the website, and I will gradually show you those resources in this quick presentation. So beginning, all our resources and everything that I'm going to talk to you about today is on our main website, which is cambridgeenglish.org. So once you go there, there's a section called as Teaching English. If you click on that, it will show you all these resources put into different categories, from free teaching resources to exam preparation, to our free webinars, to supporting you with blogs, with Write and Improve, Speak and Improve. So as I said earlier, in case if you can't remember what was spoken today, you really can't find it, just go to our website, go to the section called as Teaching English for teachers, and then you will find all these resources broken up in these 6 categories for you. So the first thing that I want to talk to you about is Inspire, which is our support pack for English language teachers. It's as I said to you earlier, it's a one-stop shop. All the support materials that you require, starting off from your lesson plans to your sample papers to checklist to how do you assess for writing or speaking, or how do you plan your calendar for the year. In the beginning, how do you inform parents, what presentation you send out to parents, what posters you send out to parents. All those resources are over here. You have a list of lesson plans over here, which you can take on from starters, movers, flyers, ket, pet, FCE. So there's one stop shop for you as a teacher where you can use all the resources in this document. So I will go ahead and send it across to you just to give you a snapshot of how it looks. So if you look at the young learners, so you have the handbook, which is kept in a separate section. Then you have the lesson plans, you have the sample papers, you have the flashcards, you have the word list book, you have Sing and Fun. So for every exam, you have a separate page like this way. Everything is linked, so once you click on it, it will directly take you as a teacher to show you where these resources are kept. So you can download it and you can send this to your parents or send this to the students, however you bring in your communication in your school. So all this support is there for you as a teacher digitally, and this support is, as I said, for starters, movers, flyers, the key for schools, preliminary for schools, B2 first, C1 advanced, and C2 proficiency. So whichever exam you're teaching across the suite of Cambridge exams, this support is provided for teachers, which will definitely help you to deliver learning digitally. So this is the first resource. It's called as Inspire, and I will put it out in the chat box, the link for you. You can feel free to download it and you can keep using it because everything is linked. So as we update update the files in the back end of the document, you will have the most latest and recent files. So that's the first thing called as Inspire. Moving on to the second one, we've produced training materials for students. So we have the teacher support pack as well as the candidate support pack. I'll quickly show you what is there. So this is locally developed. So there are many schools who came and said during this pandemic, we would like to have this continue with the same young learners training or the KET-PET or continue with BEC training. So we have developed this to make work much more easier. So you will have individual lesson plans as well as individual materials that you can send out. So for example, in week 1, you want to do something on reading and writing. This is the document will be sent to you as a PDF. You can send it across to your students, and it's very, very interactive where they can tick the answers or where they can choose the right answer and they can send it back to you, save it and send it back to you. We've already done with starters. It's already there. We can share it with you. We have movers and flyers, which is coming out in a week, and we'll be extending this across the other suite of exams also. So this is the second support that we're offering teachers to deliver learning digitally. One is Inspire. Second one is training materials for students. Coming to the third resource that we have is called as Cambridge English Weekly. So many of you as teachers, for example, if you're teaching FC or Cambridge English First, you'd say, okay, now we want to do training for FC or for the key English for schools or across the next, say, 3 months or the next 4 months. So what Cambridge English Weekly does, it's from A2 to B1 to B2 level, where you can just need to choose whichever exam you want to teach, how many hours that you have to teach, and the system will give you what you need to do every week. So this is how it looks for you on the screen. It says choose the exam, the teaching weeks available, and exam preparation per week. This is all you have to do. So once you do this, the system will tell you, okay, on week 1, this is what you need to do for 2 hours, writing, listening, reading. Week 2, if you have 2 hours, you do this for speaking, reading, and this is the extra support for you. So all you need to do is just say which exam as a teacher you're going to be training for, how many weeks that you have, and in every week, how many hours of training that you want to do. And it's like the system will give you the resources that you as a teacher or as a coordinator can use these resources across your entire school. So this is the third support that we have called as Cambridge English Weekly. The next is, I think everyone is talking about, how can I improve my speaking of the students? Everybody wants to improve. So we do have come out with, based on the feedback from Write and Improve, we've come out with this new software called as Speak and Improve. Yeah. So Speak and Improve is basically they'll be interacting with a robot called as Sandy, and you will be given certain speaking tasks. You just have to speak in the mic, and then the system will give you feedback. So this is called to do with Speak and Improve. I know many of you would want to use that. Please, I encourage you to go ahead to the website and to use Speak and Improve. The next support that we have is Write and Improve. So you have Speak and Improve for speaking skills for students, and you have Write and Improve, which is for the writing skills for students. So Write and Improve also works in similar ways like Speak and Improve. So it's from A1 level up to C2 level. It helps your students to improve your writing skills, and the system will give you feedback. So as a teacher, most of the time you give assignments to your students. The students will have to write the answer, send it back to you, and you have to correct it. But here the system makes it easy for you, where you just have to tell them to go to the system, to do a task, and the system will give them feedback. And then you can ask them to send the feedback across to you. You as a teacher will really be able to see, okay, as a class, the system has corrected all the papers for you. You'll be able to see as a class how your students have fared and how your students have done. And then you can know, okay, I think as a class, all my students are making, some error with preposition, or the coherence is not good in the sentences, or there's something which is their adverbs are really not good. So rather than you sitting down and correcting or evaluating 35 and 40 papers, the system does it for you, and you get a feedback from the system. And then as a class, you'll be able to see, okay, my children are they at an A1 level or A2 level or at a B2 level or at a C1 level. The system will give them feedback. So these are fantastic resources, teachers, coordinators, leaders. It's available. It is free of cost, and it's all available on our website as a one-stop shop for you. Now you've done with speaking skills, you've done with writing skills, and now when it comes to listening skills, I'm sure again a lot of schools, the feedback or the colleges we hear from, how to improve the listening skills of students. So this is another task called as Virtually Anywhere. It's at aimed at B1 and B2 students, so somebody who's doing a PET or an FCE, somebody who's doing a BEC preliminary or a BEC Vantage, you can use this tool. It's called as Virtually Anywhere. It's basically 7 episodes. It's between two students called as Paul and Geeta and their professor. So this is how you have the teacher's notes. So if you see again these resources, it's already custom made over there and it's kept for you. All you need to do is just to go and download it. It will tell you how many hours you require, what are the teachers resources you require, what preparation you need to do, which level is this for. And then you have an assignment which is there sent to the students. So you can send this to the students, they can listen to it, and then they can write the answers and send it back to you. So it's just with the, it's just like an answer for this situation, because everything is online, everything is available on the website. You can either send your students the link, or you can download it and send it to them on WhatsApp or your Google Classroom, whatever means you're using as an institution. Then we come to the sixth tool, which is called as Cambridge English TV, which is nothing else than our YouTube channel. So you have from the webinars, you have around 98 webinars. And as teachers, if you really want to develop professionally, you on a Saturday or on a Sunday, if you really want to spend some time, please do go to our webinars. You have webinars also how to train students for listening, reading, writing, speaking. It's also skill wise, it's also exam wise. So if you're a new institution who's trying to develop or plan out for your young learners, or for KET or for PET, for every exam we have the resources there on our website. And if you're a college professor, you have the top tips which are there for BEC, as well as learning tips that you have. So this is how the YouTube page will look. Cambridge English TV, you have various sections, so you can go ahead and click on those sections, and then it will take you to all the resources. So starting off from how a speaking test will be, you have speaking tests for all our exams which are covered over here, where you can also send the students the link for them to have a look. You can develop tasks around these speaking tests, which will definitely help you and your students, because they're all online. You just need to send a link and you can coordinate it in your classroom. So these are idioms. Basically, it's explaining idioms in a video. I call them vidioms. So if you're introducing some idioms, again, these resources are there online. Again, as I said, you can share them the video link, or you can also share it on your Google Classroom or whatever platform that you're using, Microsoft Teams, in your classroom. So this is you have separate idioms. Every idiom is like taken about 2 minutes video to explain the idiom, and these resources are also there. Apart from that, these are all the various webinars that we have. I'm just sharing a few with you, but if you go to the Cambridge English TV on YouTube, you'll find these resources. And finally, you have an app which is called as Quiz Your English. If you've not heard about it before, you can download it on the Google Play Store or the Apple App Store on your iPhone. This is an amazing resource, again, called as Quiz Your English app. You have various sections at work or at home or as a student. You can go ahead and play games across people across the world, and the system will also tell you whether you made right answers or wrong answers. So this is another friendly app. Everyone's on apps, everyone's on their phones or on their tabs, and this is a very, very good resource that you can use as a teacher. You can also maybe have a challenge, say, okay, this month all of you go and play in when it says into study, and we'll see whoever's got the most score for the month. You can give them a prize because they are learning English through this app, they are learning English through this game. It's just in a very, very different way. You can see where your students are making errors, common errors, and you can also correct it. So as teachers, we do have a support page on Facebook. I think the whole world is there on Facebook today. So you go, it's called as Cambridge English Teaching. So if you click on that, every time you get a post, almost like once in a week, you get 2 to 3 posts, which has a lot of support over there for you as a teacher. So these are a couple of workshops. I know many of you school have been asking, when is the next teacher support program? So please do contact your authorized center, or you can contact the Cambridge English office. So we have the Wiley orientation on the 12th of September, which is the the coming Saturday from 10 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. So we'll be having an orientation for about 2 hours. On what is Young Learners English exam, what are the various parts of this exam. So if you have any new teachers in your school who need to be oriented towards young learners, please ask them to sign up for this program. And after that, again, my colleague Abhishek and myself will be talking about the online resources that teachers can use similar to this session. What are the resources they can use during this time to support each one of you. So if you need more workshop, for example, if your school is offering the C1 Advanced, or if your college is offering the Business English Certificate, or if you're offering Ket or Pet, if you need a refresher workshop for your teachers, you need new teachers to be inducted, please do reach out to your contact authorized center, or you can reach out to the Cambridge Assessment English local office, whether it's Abhishek or Vikas or Joshua or Samuel or myself, and we'll let you know when is the next workshop. But these workshops are planned. We are coming out with a calendar, but it's for your benefit. If any of you need a new TSP or a refresher teacher support workshop, we're more than happy to do so. So on this note, we thank each one of you for listening to this presentation, and that's my contact details, but you can reach out to anybody in the local business development team, and we'll be more than happy to support you. So hope you found this presentation useful. I'll be there at the end for any questions. I can share a couple of links on the chat box, but wish you all the best. And over to my next colleague, Samuel.
A very good morning to one and all for taking time out to be present for the annual coordinators conference. Such a pleasure to have you, and I think this is the first time that we are doing this annual coordinators conference virtually. And if you remember, I think we used to do it in different cities where we recognize coordinators, and we try adding value and also sharing best practices. So we are doing this first time virtually. Kevin spoke about the support that we have been offering teachers, and I think that's just a tip of the iceberg. What Kevin shared, there is so much more support available online and on the website, and support that we've been offering through webinars and professional development program. So I'm going to talk about support that we've been offering parents, students during these tough times, and I'm also going to talk about how do we go ahead and do these Cambridge exams online, and there are a few changes that we made. So let me start with my presentation. Just give me a minute. Okay, so for the next 15 minutes, I'm going to take you through the new ways of working. I see that we have a wide group of participants. Some of you have been working with us. Some of you are decided to work with us this year, and you're new to the Cambridge family. So we welcome you, and I will tell you what support we offer and how do we go ahead in introducing Cambridge exams in your institution. I'm going to give you an overview of the resources that we have for students and parents, and how do you access these resources. And there are a whole lot of new resources that we have developed during this last 4 to 5 months. So I will also be giving you an overview of those resources as well. Okay, so if you're an existing institution, if you've been working with us, I'm sure you understand the process involved. So the benefit of you, there are a few changes that we made. So I just want to take you through the entire cycle. And now you can launch the program digitally. So one, get to know your center, get to know the person in the center, because there has been few changes in the staff at the center as well as in the Cambridge team. So for every institution, we have a dedicated account manager, and I think I've been handling a few accounts which I've given over to my colleague Kevin and Abhishek, who would be responsible for it. So get to know your account manager in Cambridge and get to know your point of contact in the exam center. Once you know that, you can coordinate with us or the exam center to reach out to parents. So we have a platform that we've developed called Cambridge Connect, which will help you to connect with parents, send messages, share letter to parents. So my colleague Apur will be talking more in detail about Cambridge Connect. And once you reached out to parents, you've got their consent, we can help you plan orientation for parents and students online. I'll also share the invite with you. So we have a sample which we could help you with. So once you reach out to parents and students, you get in their concern. The next step will be we organize a teacher training for you. So it's an online teacher training. It would be spread across 2 days. So there is a prefixed calendar. And if you think that you need an exclusive TSP because you made exams mandatory in your institution, feel free to let your account manager know. And then you can go ahead and start training online. We've developed a pack. I think Kevin spoke about the candidate support pack and teacher support pack. So you could use that to train students. And once you've done with the training, you could go ahead and decide on the exam date. Exam dates are flexible, so there's no global date as such until December. So you could go ahead choose the exam date that you need. So this is the process if you're an existing institution. So two new additions. One is you have an account manager and you have Cambridge Connect to reach out to parents, and the entire online learning is developed for you to make it easy. Moving on to the next, if you're a new institution, if you're a new institution, we've been organizing events. I think 2 weeks back, we organized an event, collaboration event, and we had around 400 people participating in the event. So once you attend the collaboration event, you get a fair idea on how do you introduce Cambridge exams in your institution. After the event, we've shared a letter of intent, so you could submit the letter of intent to us, and the concerned BD representative in the region will speak to you about how you could collaborate. You would talk about the benefits and show you different models that you can collaborate where you set a center of excellence. So once you understand the model and you finalize it, we organize teacher support programs. I think the program that we're doing is next week. Kevin has been sharing about it. So you send your teachers, select and send them for the teacher support program, which happens online. And once you've done that, again, we help you to reach out to parents. So we share collaterals. I'll also be sharing collaterals that we developed, which can be shared on WhatsApp. And also you can send these collaterals to Cambridge Connect to the mail ID of the parent. And then you start your online training. The training is done digitally, at least say weekly 1 hour. If you're able to train, I'm sure that candidates would be ready to do their exam in the month of March or April. And the last step is you send your candidates for exam at a date and time that is convenient and safe for the institution. So I'm clear that both the models you understand. In case if you have any queries, feel free to reach out to any one of us. So I will take you through the resources. Okay, so when I speak about resources, as I said, we have a wide group. We have teachers from schools, we have teachers from higher education. So the order that I'm going to talk about is first I talk about resources available for school, and then I move on to higher education. And when I talk about higher education, we have two qualifications. One is BEC and the other is Lingua Skill. So I will only talk about the resources available for BEC, and my colleague Manish will speak about resources available for Lingua Skill. So yeah, for the benefit of our new institutions, newcomers to our family, I just want to give you an overview. I think Kevin in detail shared about resources available for teacher. So when we come for student, we have resources which could be used in your classroom. We call them classroom resources. A lot of online activities and worksheets that we've developed and available. And apart from that, we have games. So let me talk to you about one game called Quiz Your English. So this game is used for B2 level learners. So if you're doing the FC for schools exam, you want to improve your students' vocabulary and grammar, you can go ahead and download Quiz Your English from the App Store or the Google Play Store. And once you download that, it will assign a user to you, and you can select the topic that you like, and you can compete with students in different countries. And there's also a leaderboard. So if you haven't tried Quiz Your English, I would recommend please go ahead and try. It's a very interesting game, And if you also feel stressed, I think Quiz Your English will help you to relax, and it will also help you to learn. So we also have a game called Academy Island, where there are 8 mini games, and it helps in improving your reading skill. As it goes higher, the level gets tougher. So that is one game do we which we have. So there are so many other games that is available for students. For parents, we send out newsletter to parents. There's also a lot of articles on which talks about how can a parent contribute to the words language learning or the language improvement. It tells you how do you select a particular activity, how do you use stories to motivate your child in learning English, how do you use videos which could help your child in enhancing language skills. So there are so many interesting activities that we have for parents, which is quite interesting. And I'll also talk about an infographic that we developed recently. So this is for the benefit of newcomers. I'm sure that institutions, teachers who've been working with us understand the resources that we have. So now moving on to the resources we developed during COVID. Uh, for the benefit of newcomers, let me also talk about where do you find these resources. So there are 2 steps. You log into the Cambridge English website. Once you log into the website using the link, step 1, you click on exam and test. Okay, so once you click on exam and test, on the left you find an icon called preparation, which I've highlighted. So you have supports based on exam level. So this is one step. You log into the website, you click on preparation, you get the entire range of resources that we have for each exam, the sample paper and the support available. The second step is you log into the website, you click on the icon called Learning English, which again I've highlighted. So you find the entire range of supports. So if you want games for your students, you click on games. If you want the parent letter, you just click on parents and children. And if you want activities, classroom activities, you click on activities. And if you want exam preparation, you click on that. If you want to do a free diagnostic test, understand the level of your child, you do test your English. So this is on how to access all support that I've been sharing with you. Now moving over to the resources we've developed during COVID. As you know, we want to make learning English interesting. We want to make learning English fun, and we want students to be motivated. So we've teamed up with Kahoot, where we've developed online activities. These are one-to-one activities. It could also be played as a team, and teachers can plug this into the language classroom. So you have different topics, and it can be used when you train students in English, or it can also be used in your regular classes. So this is an interesting, if you've not signed up for Kahoot, I would definitely recommend you to go ahead and sign up for it. And you also have training sessions that we organize. So there are online training sessions, and there's also a teacher's manual to say how to use Kahoot in your classroom. Okay, so the next team up that we've done is with Pokyo. As you know, this is an inspired series. So we've developed learning videos for students, and it is available in 5 languages. So if you're not aware about this, you've not used it, I would strongly recommend go ahead and use this, because it's really interesting. It's very interesting, and it has an activity sheets which helps in developing all 4 skills of your student. Yeah. So we didn't stop with that. What we have also done is we understand that institutions were struggling to keep students engaged. There were a lot of institutions trying to reach out to parents to see that if there is an activity that we can done. So for institutions who work with us, we've been sharing sample papers. So we've repurposed our entire sample paper. All these activities can be done online. We've done it for all the entire sample paper. So say I've just shared a part of it for listening. So you see a pink color icon, you click on that, you can listen to the audio of it, and you can fill in the answers in the drop down menu. So we've done this for the entire sample paper, where we've found ways to keep students engaged. So if you've not shared this with your students, or if you started training and not used this, I recommend please go ahead and try using it. It's really interesting. And the other biggest thing that we have done is we've added to our learning activities. So if you work with us, you would know that we've been having around 85 activities. These are independent activities where there are three levels: basic, independent, and proficient. And you have activities focusing on your four skills as well as pronunciation, vocabulary, and grammar. So these activities is something that we've developed so that there's a wide range of resources for our learners. As I told you, this is, I'm sorry, just give me a minute. Yeah, I hope you could see there was some connectivity issue. Sorry about that. And this is a 30-day challenge that we've done where we wanted parents to keep their students engaged, because learning language is not an easy task, and parents also are finding interesting ways to share knowledge with their children. So these are 30 activities. Every day you do one activity. Like for day one, say you read a book. On day two, you write a postcard. So these are different activities that we have, and you could also find this in parents and children more activity space. So if you have not shared this with your parents, please do share this and encourage your parents to use this to improve their child's learning English. Even teachers can use this activity in the classroom and experiment it. Yeah. So as you know, apart from what we offer, value-added services or the support that we offer online, we also have published materials. So what we have done is during COVID, we made all our materials accessible online, and we have opened it up for a free subscription to all our learners, so they make the best use of it. So this is just a snapshot of the first certificate in English, the exam series that we've opened up online. So we've done this for most of our exams. And I'm sure that most of you are a part of our Facebook group. If you're not, I would recommend that you be a part of it, because there's a lot of learning that not only happens for teachers, we also do a lot of learning on Facebook for learners. So let me share a sample of learning that we do. So there are postcard messages which helps in promoting English. So there's a sentence that we share. So every day there is a word that we do. So you have around 3,000 images which can be shared with your learners. If you have a group, this could be sent to promote English. And for A2 Key and B1 Prelim, we've developed two new apps to support exam preparation and build English skills. So if you haven't downloaded this app, again, the app is downloadable on Play Store. So if you haven't done it, please go ahead and do it. It's very interesting, and it's whatever we do it, which helps in keeping students engaged. Yeah, and coming to almost the final part of my presentation. So as I said, like we supported you in repurposing our sample paper, we've also repurposed our collateral. While I spoke about the model, if you see, we also can facilitate to parents to register online. So this collaterals can be shared on WhatsApp. So this is a WhatsApp version of the collateral, the mobile version. So if you haven't got this collaterals with you, the letter to parent, please feel free to reach out. We developed a huge range of resources which will help parents to get to know what support we offer online. So if you see there are useful videos, you click on this, it takes you to the respective video where it gives an orientation to the parent, and also parents can register online through the institution. And as I told you, we also support you with online presentations. So this is some generic presentations we've been doing where we've been creating awareness for parents. If you want to do it for your institution parents, we are more than happy to work with you. So we can design an invite which could be shared with your parents, and it could be done online either on our platform or we could do it in your platform. And that's the resources for schools. So moving on to higher education, just going to talk about the resources we have for BEC. As you know, this is an app that we've introduced last year. So in this app, we've also added the Beck Vantage, which helps in exam revision. The app not only supports you with exam revision, it also helps in developing your language skills. So there are useful resources. We also have exam tips, and we also have a diagnostic test. So if you've not use this app, if you not share this with students, we would recommend you go ahead and use it. And this is really interesting. It helps in understanding how well your students are prepared for the exam, and it also helps in understanding the level and keeping them engaged. And the second resource that we've developed for Beck, based on the Beck sample paper, we've come up with videos which are there on YouTube. You can reach out to Kevin or Abhishek. We're also planning to do an event around this. There are 48 tips. These are short videos which would not take more than 2 minutes. It would focus on the entire 4 skills, vocabulary, and grammar. So if you take writing, we talk about how do you write an email, how do you write a report, what are the how do you open out an email, like what is the introduction message that you have in an email. And when we talk about vocabulary, we also give you examples of the latest vocabulary used in the business English exam. So this is an interesting short videos which could be plugged into your learning. So this is a new resources. We would request you to make use of this. And the next, what we have done for Beck is we've developed an entire range of assets. So these are online assets that we have on different topics. So this could also be used to create awareness for your student, or if students are going for placement. Before placement, you can talk about how do you help them to be prepared for placement. So these are generic topics which would help in promotion. So to use these resources, please get in touch with the Cambridge English BD staff. So this is the invite. So these are general events that we've done. So I'm just sharing a sample of it. So please, if you want to do this in your institution, reach out to us and we'll be happy to support you. And with that, I'm done, and over to Apur.
Yeah, hi everyone. Thank you, Sam, for the wonderful presentation. Hi, my name is Apurv. I'm the marketing manager for Cambridge Assessment English. Let's quickly delve onto the topic of empowering your brand with Cambridge Assessment English. So let's talk a bit about brand equity. Does that word actually ring any bells? So brand is basically more than logo and assets, right? It's all about your brand reputation, perceived quality, brand awareness, brand loyalty. All of these factors will actually contribute to your brand equity. Now, brand identity is logos, assets, marketing assets, colors, images, etc., etc. So both these halves actually comprise of the thing which is called brand. Now, a very good example in the context that you can see it for is this, that, Cambridge University, that is brand equity. 25,000 organizations recognize Cambridge English exams. That is equity. Largest research group in Europe, that again contributes to brand equity. CFR level again contributes to equity, and the number of followers that we have. But when I start talking about identity, we have our logo, which is there on the screen. We have our DLs, brochures, marketing assets, etc., etc. We have Cambridge brand colors. All of them contribute to brand identity. We're not talking about how does it actually benefit you. So a very good example of this is on screen. A normal cup of coffee would cost you only $1.65 in the US. But when you put a logo of Starbucks on it, it becomes $3.65. So actually branding is a very major part of how you project your own image. So quickly jumping on to the next topic, how you can utilize your relationship with Cambridge Assessment English to kind of boost your own brand, is that we are proudly a part of University of Cambridge. That adds to a huge value proposition that you kind of provide your people. So talking about value propositions, our qualifications are used for studying abroad, immigration, enhancing employment opportunities. So whether it is about CEFR being internationally respected as quality standard, unrivaled brand reach and awareness, I mean, just a statement, but it speaks louder, right? 5.5 million tests were taken last year in 170 countries, #1 ranked education Facebook page, and it has been recognized by 25,000 organizations globally. When you place all these facts and figures out there, then it becomes a very good value proposition for your customers as well. Now, talking about how do you use this brand adjacent to your brand so that there is a synergy which is involved. So for that, we have certain center branding guidelines. So let's take a look at it, that how you will be able to utilize that. So local office, that is the Cambridge South Asia office, will be providing you with the center certificate, the center logo, as well as the logo guidelines. Now, you can utilize these logo guidelines and the vector images that we provide to make certain artworks for your own institution. You can personalize them, use your own logos adjacent to ours with the help of a logo brand guidelines, and that will enable you to create the artworks that really make the difference. Now let's take a quick example. Let's take a look at a quick example of how does the leaflet and outdoor media actually encapsulates this brand guidelines. So as you can see that here, it's International House Sabadell has actually advertised on an outdoor media sample, and there they have utilized that they prepare for Cambridge English qualifications. Now this again is a huge value add on their own ad, that they have international relations with these brands. Now, going on to the next one, you can also utilize it on your business card and email signatures. It again provides that extra oomph to your marketing effort and activities. Now, quickly moving on to joint branding. Now, of course, we will be doing a lot of webinars. There will be a lot of marketing activities involved. So how do you do joint branding? So a very simple example of this is that you can place your logo, which is your main logo, having your own identity at the top left hand side, and our logo, that is the Prep Center logo, can be there at the bottom right. So in this way, you are clearly establishing that you prepare for Cambridge English exams and you have a relationship with us. Now, where can you use all these branding? So there is a best practice that it should be used on your website pages, advertising, banners and posters, leaflets, free promotional items, email content, email signatures, business cards, and social posts. So with all these referred items, you'll be able to use the branding. So branding support, where do you find it? So you can find it with the local office, that is us. You can just email us or call us. Prep Center support section on our website, there is general information which is given out there. You can find it over there as well. Or you can directly write to the brand team for artwork approval and questions about product names and copy. So you'll be able to do that directly as well. Now, how do you access marketing assets, right? So you can download it directly from our website. So there is a marketing support for preparation centers. The website looks exactly like that in the thumbnail. We have posted a certain bit of screenshots over there. So there is an event support pack. There is a certificate ceremony pack. There is a marketing pack which is also available, and there are different posters and collateral. So it appears as a single zip file. You'll be able to utilize that to kind of pivot your marketing activities. Now, taking like a very quick look at the branded materials which are available for your institutions. Now, again, these are templates. You will be able to customize that by adding your own logo, by adding your own lines and messaging, and the population that you are trying to impact and the buyer personas. So just quickly jumping on to a wide scale of content that is available. Now, we keep our preparation centers and teachers informed with our Prep Center newsletter. It has a lot of activities that Sam was covering, and it has a lot of those games and resources that Kevin was covering. So a very simple way of being informed and being up to date is by subscribing to our newsletter. You can either do that on our website or on the support site. So if you do that, there will be a Prep Center newsletter that will be sent to you every month, and it will cover in detail what are the new resources that we are adding to our library. Now, jumping quickly on to the vast digital reach that we had. So I already told you we have around 59 lakh followers on Facebook. So how you can utilize that to kind of market your own activities? Simple, just tag us in. So let's suppose that there is a speaking exam activity that you conducted recently, or there is a prep center or a mock test that you did recently. You can just snap a photo, upload it on your Facebook, and tag us and use the hashtags in there. You can just take a screenshot of this if it is not there, and then we'll be able to kind of add and retweet and reshare your post. So kind of quickly delving in, if you don't have the images, don't worry. You can create value-adding posts by utilizing the various images that we have. So these images are for schools, for general NHE, for teaching, for linguistics. We have different set of images. This can be either downloaded from brand folder, or you can request us at this ID which is given if you need any of those images. Now, the links to all our popular website content is also available. Test Your English, Learning English, using our Cambridge English TV content. All of this is already covered by my colleagues. So I'm just gonna move over to the next slide. As I stated, that just tag us in, you share your success, we'll be able to narrate the story with everyone else. And same goes for PR. There is exhaustive PR support that we can offer you. If there are any major events like certificate ceremonies, etc., we'll be able to provide you with the PR support if it is there. So now that brings me to the last point over here, that is the joint and co-branded online events. As Kevin and Sam stated earlier, we are doing a lot of events like teacher support webinars, product promotion events, ELT webinars. We will promote it for you amongst our community as well. Quickly diving into the last but not the least, that is connect everything with Cambridge Connect. You can use a portal that is designed by us. It's called Cambridge Connect for expanding your outreach. Now, what will this enable you for? So you can utilize this for exam session management. You can utilize this for a bird's eye view of all your candidates. You can utilize it for messaging services and notifications with standard communication. That means we will be building the templates for you. You just need to kind of personalize the bit and hit the push button, and all the messaging will be sent out to your candidates. Online registration for all of the students is enabled, and with a payment gateway, and there is a single dashboard view with curated access to all the useful links. It is also available over here. So how does it look like? With a snapshot, it looks something like this. This is the login window, and on the right hand side is the dashboard, center management, etc., etc. So that is the view that will be for you. It might differ from access to access, but yeah, by far and large, it will look something like this. So with that, I would like to kind of ask customer services team to kind of take over. So I would like to welcome my colleague Vidya, and she'll be taking it over from here. Thank you, Vidya.
Thank you, Apurv. Thank you very much. Okay, hi, my name is Vidya Bhatt. I'm the Regional Operations Head for South Asia. I'm with the Customer Services team. And the key role of the Customer Services team is to support authorized centers, ensure that they run or administer exams to standards. We're also responsible to kind of manage the security and integrity of the exams, the Cambridge English exams that they administer. Now, over the next couple of minutes, I'm just going to spend some time in terms of how we have supported authorized centers and candidates to administer exams in a very secured way. The key highlights is for us, the safety and security of the center staff and candidates has been our top priority. We have not compromised on this. So that's the reason why we came up with the flexible exam delivery model as well. So you must be wondering what this is all about. I'm sure all of you are aware that most of the Cambridge English exams, other than young learners and TKT, are all administered on global dates. And I'm sure you're all aware right now, most of you are aware, especially the existing preparation centers, all of you are aware that the global dates have now been abolished. That is, we no longer run any of these exams on global dates until the end of December 2020. So what does this mean for the preparation centers? So this means that your candidates, the preparation centers, can actually offer to run exams, Cambridge exams, on any date between now or between the time that you decide to open up your institution and end of December 2020. Of course, this is open to a very short time because we are just trialing this out and see how this works. So when your institutions opens up and you decide that, yes, I would like the candidates now to take on the Cambridge exams, then please get in touch with the authorized centers. I'm sure we will all be in a position to support you there. Also, one of the key points to note is that the entry closing dates for the computer-based test and the paper-based versions has been relaxed. I'm sure most of the preparation centers who have been working with us in the past are aware that, you know, when you want to run the Cambridge exams, you're required to give your entries with the authorized centers at least around 6-7 weeks or sometimes even 8 weeks in advance. But now all of that has been relaxed. So you can go up to 4 weeks prior to the exam date and decide that, yes, I would like the candidates, my candidates in my school to take on the exams. So you can decide that in the last moment, even up to about 4 weeks prior. All you have to do is just get in touch with your centers and they would be in a position to kind of organize all of that for you. But if you're still struggling, feel free to reach one of us in the Cambridge office and we are happy to organize exams for you. The next key aspect is that the refund and the rebooking policies have been made very customer friendly. I'm sure you're aware that in the past we've been quite rigid about examinations and the refunds and the rebookings, which is we don't encourage other than if there is for medical purposes. But during the COVID times, all of this has changed. We are happy to kind of cancel any exams for any candidate because of COVID reasons, and we're happy to organize even rebooking for the candidates as well in a future date whenever it's comfortable for the candidates. And you must be very happy that all the authorized centers who offer these exams are all trained. They're all trained to run exams during COVID time. So they take a lot of care in terms of administering the exams. So that means there should be some kind of SOPs here. So what's Cambridge come across with? Now, most of us in Cambridge team have actually reached out to the authorized centers to ensure that they have clear information on how to run the exams. And the authorized centers in turn have actually cascaded this to the candidates as well. So the safety and hygiene measures are of key importance for all of us. Now, what's important is that we want to ensure that the center staff as well as the candidates are confident and reassured that all the measures taken are all taken to standards as per local regulations and they have a guaranteed safe exam experience. That's the key. Also, to add on, Cambridge has come up with some self-declaration form that is open for candidates as well as for center staff. For candidates and center staff, what does it mean? It means that if the candidates are declaring to say that they do not have any symptoms of COVID so that they don't spread the disease to anyone, or even the center staff, they don't spread the disease to anyone, as well as they are also confirming that they have not been to any of the containment areas so that everybody is safe when the exam is being taken. I've already mentioned about cancelled and rescheduling of exams. You must be very happy that most of the exams which were cancelled in the month of March and April can now be easily rescheduled without any problem. So all of you who had to cancel the exam because of COVID reasons would have gotten a refund. And again, to reschedule these exams should not be a problem at all. Once your institutions gets back, we are in a position to kind of help you reschedule all these exams. Even the refund and the rebooking policy is made as simple and less strenuous for all of you. The most important thing all of you will be wondering is, how do these exam centers keep their venues ready? As we said, It's very important that before any authorized center offers any or plans any exam, the local authorization is key. All the centers have to get permission from local authorities. Again, because if you look at Sri Lanka, it opened up a few months ago. If you look at India, it's slowly opening up. But where necessary, we do require centers to get permission. Exam day briefing. So even though center staff is briefed, exam day briefing is also key. This is so that if at all there is a challenge on the day of the exam, if there is a staff or if there is a candidate who has symptoms, and then what do? So all of them, they're all briefed in a way that they're able to manage the situation well and in a very secured way. So all the staff, candidates, all of them would definitely be instructed to wear face masks. Disinfection of exam venue, needless to say, is the need of the hour. Every part where the candidates and the center staff are going to be in the exam room, all of this is going to be sanitized, including your bathrooms, including your speaking test, because multiple people will be coming and going. Provision of hand sanitizers and masks are must in every exam venue. Every staff, every candidate are expected to wear masks. There's no two ways about it. Now, with all of this, you'll be wondering, how is it that we do ID checks? Now, there's one point that we would like to make is that these exams, Cambridge exams, some of them are high-stake exams. So we are not in a position to kind of compromise on the security element. So there is a requirement for us to do the ID checks as well as take test day photograph. So if you look at an exam venue, most of the center staff would be wearing gloves whenever they handle the ID. And when a test day photograph is going to be taken, the candidate is expected to quickly take off their mask, take a picture, and then move on. So there are stringent regulations around that, and center staff are well equipped to handle all of this. If you notice, most of the exam centers that have started functioning, they all have signages all over reminding candidates of their responsibility and ensuring that there is social distancing, cleanliness, hygiene, all of that. So all of it is mentioned and will be published in the exam venue in case anyone forgets to put on a mask or kind of clean their hands, whatever. These signages should help them. Now, what we're going to do over the next couple of minutes is we will be sharing a video where you can see a number of exam centers that have started functioning. What is it that they've done? What is the best practice they kind of developed in order to ensure that there is a safe environment for the candidates? So sit back, relax. There are going to be some pictures as well. You can see the exam managers. You can see some pictures. Just that in these pictures have been taken using center staff. It is not an live exam environment. It's pictures taken of center staff. So sit back and you can understand how these centers have taken are cautious about administering the exams. Apur, can you just play the video, please?
Sure, Vidya. Just give me 1 second.
Thank you.
My name is John D'Souza and I am the director of Center IN993. The government here has set some rules on how we can go about conducting these exams. We ensure that the place that we are going to conduct the exams, the center that we are hiring to conduct the exams, is not in a containment zone to begin with. Then we take permission from the local government authority, a dry cough, or any of the symptoms that lead to COVID. Once that is established, then the candidate, the center staff provides the candidate with a pair of gloves, first sanitizes his hands with sanitization liquid, then provides them with gloves, a face mask and a face shield.
Hi, this is Hari Krishnan from People English. We did a test, C1 Advanced computer-based test recently. We had about 30 odd candidates. We had told the candidates to come with masks, and while they were entering the venue, hands were sanitized, temperatures were checked. All of the staff members also were wearing a mask and the shield, face shield, as well as gloves. So then once the pre-registration process and the photographs were done, they were taken maybe 3-4 candidates at a time into the lab.
This is Tariq Khan and I am the Operation Manager of International Examination Services. Some of the instructions have come from the Cambridge side, what we are supposed to do. Some of the instructions are there from the local government, and there are some instructions we ourselves as an exam center which we felt needed to be added. As the children were seated there in the examination hall and they were not moving all around, so only those one or two we wanted to go to the washroom, then they were taken to the washroom one at one time, and under the supervision of a invigilator. And once they are done with the washroom, then their hands was properly washed and sanitized and then brought back.
Our center number is LK115. We have been conducting exams from early July 2020. Venue capacity has been arranged based on 1/3 capacity of each venue and sanitized.
I'm from LK102 and I am the center exams manager.
Okay, now we are at the entrance of our exam center. So there the candidates have to wash their hands. So we have set up a sink with a pedal. So that's how you have to operate it. Security officers will be checking the temperature. And also they will be spraying a sanitizer for your hands. And now we are going through a disinfection booth. You have to turn once there. And now we are entering the exam premises. There we are entering the waiting room. So we have arranged the chairs and tables in a way to maintain the social distancing. And now we are giving COVID-19 declaration forms which are provided by the Cambridge. So this form is for the exam staff, for the speaking examiners and all, to mention whether they have any symptoms like that.
This is the computer lab we are using for the exam. So here we have put up signage. You see, there we have a box of gloves and a hand sanitizer for the exam staff to use and also for the candidates to use. And also there we have marked social distancing, and as you see in this, we have marked social distancing.
During speaking component, a 2-meter distance maintained in the speaking room, and a photocopied pack of the speaking pack is given to the candidate. After each candidate, the speaking examiner disinfected the tables. Once the exam is over, candidates are lined up, maintain a 2-meter gap.
We have decided at IN 993 that we will send a private car, and we do not hire an Uber or an Ola, but we send a private car to pick up the examiner. This car is sanitized by the center.
So we were projecting all of the material, the speaking test material onto a projector, and with that they were able to see and answer the question.
I hope you all enjoyed the short video. I'm really sorry about the lag in the audio. I think there was some kind of a technical difficulty there. I'm sure all of you are now reassured that all the exam centers are now capable of running exams to standards. Now, we are happy the moment you kind of decide on administering or allowing your candidates to take on the Cambridge exam, then the first thing you need to do is get in touch with the authorized center or get in touch with us. We will be happy to kind of organize the exams for you. Thank you very much. If you have any questions, happy to take it at the very last end. Over to you, Manish.
Thanks, Vidya. A very good morning to all of you. And as we have been hearing from Samuel and Arun, it's the first time that we are doing this coordinators meet, our annual coordinators meet virtually. It's not as good as experience as meeting all of you there at a common venue in your own cities, but I think we will have to live with that. What I'll be talking about quickly is Lingua Skill. I'm not sure if you have heard of that before, but this is a multi-level language test, and class 11 and above students can take these tests. I'll talk about some of the features of Lingua Skill during my presentation here. So as with all the Cambridge exam, this test also has all the 4 language skills: reading, writing, listening, and speaking. And there are 2 test options here. You have Lingua Skill General and Lingua Skill Business. This is how it maps as per the common European framework. And as you can see here, it is also mapped as per the Cambridge English scale, right from levels A1 up to level C2 of the CEFR. Where is it used? Lingua Skill is used for various purposes, right from admissions to your institution to measure the progress if you're doing a learning and development course, right during your graduation years in college or in university, recruitment of students at your college or university. It could also be to measure the progress of communication skills of students, or we will talk about other benefits as we go along. With Cambridge, you can be rest assured about the quality that goes on and the trust that is there with the Cambridge English qualification. And this test also has been trialed over a couple of years with over 40 languages from 50 countries. And it is delivered by experts, and researchers have worked to ensure that these are fit for purpose tests. These are supported by AI, artificial intelligence, and there is lots that has gone on behind the scenes to develop these tests, as you can see, and it's all again freely available on our website. How these tests have been developed, how researchers, how experts in the fields have worked on developing these exams over the years, and after all the testing has been done, we have brought these tests live to the global market. Reporting for Lingua Skill is in-depth, and which will help you make the informed decision. You can compare the performances, you can have group reports, you can have individual reports. As you can see here, the test report form, how it looks like. And as an institution, you have the option of having individual reports or group reports. The results are very fast. Within 48 hours, you can receive the results. Very easy to administer, and you can do it at your own institution. The good part, again, here is that these are the tests which students can take at home, sitting at their own home and sitting at any of the venue premises. So you can do it at home, you can do it at your institution premises. You can, they're totally flexible there. And we also have the option of remote proctoring, which enables this test to be done from any of the location, which means any of the modules of Lingua Skill can be taken at any point of time and remote proctored, which means that venue, and during these times when we are all facing these issues, these tests are the best option that is available. As with all the tests, my colleagues talked about, Kevin and Samuel talked about the resources. Here are resources which are freely, again, these are also complementary resources available for the Lingua Skill test. And you have resources for all the skills, and you have resources for also the 2 Lingua Skill modules, which are general and the business module. You also have online vocabulary builder here. going on the resources, you can have resources for different skills here. So you have resources for listening, reading, writing, or speaking. I think I forgot to add in the beginning that these are modular tests, which means you can take any module at any point of time. You do not have to take all the 4 modules at one point of time. In a nutshell, LinguaSkill is the only AI-powered, fully adaptive, on-demand English test. The results with LinguaSkill, I told you, are accurate because of the background, because of the research, and also you can receive individual or group reports. LinguaSkill assessment, where can you use them? For learners, for teachers, for academic, for non-academic staff, and how it helps. How does LinguaSkill help? Is to maximize the success of learners from admission and placement, and also to ensure that you have the right communication skills. Prepare for an international test. Your students may be preparing for international tests like IELTS or TOEFL, or for employment purposes. These tests are used by institutions, higher education institutions, for employment purposes, maybe after graduation, while they're doing their graduation. And Again, just to add to that, these modular tests, one can take only the listening, reading, or one can take only the writing or only the speaking module of LinguaSkill. Being the first AI-powered, AI-enabled test, they have gained a lot of popularity with the government projects that we are doing or institutions that we are working on. So right from class 11 and above, these tests can be offered. If you think your institution would be interested to offer LinguaSkill assessment, please feel free to get in touch with me. My email ID is given here, manish@cambridgeenglish.in. Questions, as everybody said, we'll be taking in the end, and feel free to write to any of us if you have questions there. I will continue on the introduction for the next presentation or the video. We have do we have the next slide? Or okay, great. So we have some of our center champions, some of the institutions that we work on. We wanted to bring them live here. We wanted to introduce them and give you an idea of the excellent work that people are putting in an idea about how they have gone the extra mile, and they have done something going beyond using the resources that we have, using creating their own resources. So we'll be happy to introduce you. Coming up front, the number one here is we have the institution which is called the Acharya group of institutions. I'm sure you would have heard of them. It is called AES, and we will have Miss Varsha Rajan from the AES group of institution. Miss Varsha heads the academics, and she'll be here to tell us more about how their institution is coping up with Cambridge English examination during these testing times. Over to you, Ms. Varsha Rajan. So while we have
us a couple of seconds as Varsha would be coming online. Meanwhile, Manish, I think we could just have a quick poll till then.
Okay, so while you're having the poll and while Ms. Varsha is coming in, I would also want to introduce to you Dr. Navneetham, who will be coming up next after Ms. Varsha. And Dr. Navneetham is the training coordinator at the Velamal group of schools in South India. And we welcome both Ms. Varsha and Dr. Navneetham, and we would want to thank you for coming over and talking to all of us and telling us about your initiatives here. So coming up is the poll, as Apoorv said.
Just having a quick poll to kind of serve you guys better, to offer better support. Right. Meanwhile, there is another question that would be coming up. Follow up with that. Let's just have a fun activity till both our heroes will come online. So going forward with the next question over here in the list.
Apurva, are you guiding on the polls? We're not able to hear you.
Yes, Arun. Actually, sorry for that, everyone. I was on mute. So again, as I was stating it, that this question is fairly important for us because we would like to plan and serve you guys better, maybe offer a better support, and based on your feedback, we would be optimizing all our current services and our operations as well. So I think people have voted for it. For those people who have not voted yet, I would encourage them to vote, because until and unless we have the voice of customer with us, we won't be able to optimize the system according to your needs. So quickly moving on to the next question in the list. Yeah, that would be that. Do these tests complement your current English language classroom? So giving it a couple of more seconds for everyone to answer. Very happy that 100% of the people have told yes. Meanwhile, I hope that our heroes are on board.
Yes, I think we already joined. So go ahead, Varsha, please.
Hey. Thank you. Sorry for the delay. Hello, everyone. I'm Varsha, and I'll be talking on behalf of Acharya Education Services, IN 995. As all of you know, the world has changed in the blink of an eye, And while none of us set out to be great online teachers, here we are today trying to bridge the gap between what we do in a physical classroom versus what we do in an online training session. I often hear teachers complaining that online sessions are not as effective as a physical classroom. That needn't necessarily be the case. And I'm here to give you a few pointers that will make your online sessions as enriching and as fruitful as a session in a physical classroom. So we recently dealt with a batch which had enrolled for the Business English Certification Program. And in context or in regards to that, I'm just here to give you a few pointers that you can adapt, that you can consider as the best practices as we have listed down. So the first point that I would like to address, if you can just move it back a slide to the PPT. Yeah, thank you. The first point that I would like to address is, like you would do for any session, always map expectations to a student's skills. I know it's easier said than done, but very few educators try to focus on this. Particularly when students come in for a certification exam, the first thing that we do is we just take them through the format of the paper. We help them understand the strategy, the section, the alignment. And in this way, the students will definitely score well in your certification. They will definitely have a good mark. But you need to understand that you're not having them equipped to work in a professional environment. They do not go back with a learning. Instead, if you will spend some time interacting with your learners, asking what is it that they look from the classroom, particularly a business English program, you will be surprised at the things that students come up with. We recently had students tell us that they needed help in delivering PowerPoint presentations. There was this one student who said that she didn't know how to handle complaints and how to offer meaningful solutions to pacify customers. So what we as teachers did is, when we designed our lesson plans, we customized it to drive home the skill instead of just focusing on the format of the Beck paper. So we introduced a role play exercise where we paired the students and asked one of them to come up with a problem and the other student to come up with a solution. So if you have a facility like a breakout room, something that's available on Zoom, you can use that to monitor their conversations, or you can simply ask them to send an email out to each other, one person coming up with a problem and the other one coming up with a solution. So you needn't do an in-detail need-based analysis. Just open a dialogue with your students, build a rapport and see their perspective, because trust me, in a year or two, all of them will be in a professional workspace and you need to prepare them for that. Secondly, choose realistic materials. Now, there is no dearth of materials with respect to BEC exams. There are a multitude of books available, published by Oxford, by the Cambridge Press University, and they're all very good books. However, the lockdown in its early stages caught us unaware. We did not have these materials at hand because we were all locked out of our staff room and organizations. Now, we could go online and get the materials, but my team came up with an alternative brilliant strategy, which was to ask the students to go look through different journals, to rummage through different materials,
I'm there.
and come up with...
It says on air. Yes, now I'm getting a different screen altogether. Okay, I'll raise my hand and see how it works.
Okay, things like a leaflet or a brochure, or maybe a brochure for a college advertising their courses, or maybe a job description. Probably go out there on LinkedIn, look for job vacancies, or maybe on Naukri. So if you remember, Beck Vantage has the first part of the reading section. Beck Vantage is a matching exercise where students are given a set of paragraphs on one and a set of expressions on the other hand, and they need to match it. So when our students were able to come up with realistic, pragmatic, real-life materials, we just had to post all of them online. We posted the brochures of different universities online, and on the other hand, a set of statements expressing interest for a particular course, and the students were asked to match. And then for a second follow-up exercise, we posted different advertisements of job openings on one side and expressions of people with different professional and academic skills, and asked them to match. So students had a real life exposure of what seeking employment would look like, right? So it took learning to a whole new level. My third point is, do not teach grammar or vocabulary as a standalone activity. Now, in teaching Beck, there is a lot of professional jargon that you will have to make your students aware of. When you do that, string your grammar and your vocabulary into the exercise. We asked our students to take up a random sales report from online and talk about it in the classroom, deliver a PowerPoint presentation. And when the student expressed it out, use statements like the company always offers a discount to its customers, or the company never goes back on its promise, we highlighted words like always, never. We asked the candidates what are these words, and when a few of them said adverbs, we were able to drill it down to adverbs of frequency. Similarly, we did a role play where one student acted like a HR and listed out rules for the entire organization. So when the student was able to phrase sentences like, you must wear your ID card conspicuously, you should come to work in formal wear, we were able to highlight words like must, have to, should, teach them the differences between them. So all we did was integrate grammar, integrate vocabulary into their business jargon and give it to them as a package. My point being, online session needn't always be boring or dull or uninspiring. You just need to apply a few out-of-the-box techniques. It will definitely be enriching and more effective than your physical classroom sessions. Thank you.
Thanks, Varsha. We would like to now invite Dr. Navanitam, and I'm sure both Varsha and Dr. Navanitam will be, the resources that you're using will be very useful. Thank you, Dr. Navanitam. Please continue.
Yeah. Good afternoon. I'm Mrs. Navneetam Padmanabhan, and I belong to the Velamal group of schools. The group of schools with 19 campuses spread all over Tamil Nadu, and we have the Arcol of Shoots, which is the novel initiative of our directors to help students of all our campuses participate in the Cambridge examinations without facing the hassle of visiting private institutions or private centers to get quality training to face the Cambridge Assessment English. I extend my heartfelt gratitude to Kevin and the Cambridge team at Chennai office for giving us this opportunity to share our best practices to impart the way we impart Cambridge programs in our school. I always believe in this saying that creativity is the bedrock of all civilizations, and we strongly believe that teachers are the only creative professionals who can bring about this required changes in education. The total metamorphosis that is very essential to tide over the tough times created by this pandemic. Our school campuses are spread far and wide. All over Tamil Nadu, we have 19 campuses with multitudes of young children, students of grades K to 12. And we realize the need to get together as a team to continue working with the Cambridge programs that are at the heart of our curricular stream. After a few sessions of brainstorming with the heads of schools and also with our faculty members, we carefully interlace the key components of LSRW skills in all our weekly sessions via online mode as well as through offline activities. We have the following strategies that we have listed as the best strategies that has really worked well while implementing the course models of Cambridge patterns during the COVID era. Teachers were invited and we had asked them to share their lesson plans through their micro-teaching sessions. Now, the feedback from the Arcolib team helped teachers to design various interactive lessons and also gain the expertise in imparting the 4 skills at all levels and also help students to gain the confidence to speak or write better. The best lesson design was then customized for all the branches, and peer group discussions also set the arena for sharing their best practices. Teachers also shared their best practices through flipped classrooms that were designed and distributed to all the students. Now, students viewed these lessons and they were able to complete the tasks quite independently, and they had all the autonomy while they were learning these lessons. Now, Cambridge online resources were also used to the optimum, and thanks to Kevin Coyne, who gave us all the details about the available online resources through various orientation programs to all our faculty members, which really helped them to use these online resources effectively. Now, we also set up public speaking and debating stage where we had the club meetings during the evening hours to enhance the speaking skills of students, and we tried our best to help students with using the speaking activities from the Cambridge lesson plans or from the model papers or all the website resources that were available. Now, integration of Cambridge activities through online sessions and offline worksheets were also given every week. We had very carefully selected a lot of Cambridge activities that were integrated along with our lessons. Now, students have one Cambridge session during the week and also one during the weekends. Our weekend programs are coined to help Cambridge learners listen to stories or even engage in library activities that enrich the skills of note making, skimming, scanning that are done to help students work on improving their English language skills. Now, whether it was assessment for or of learning, the assessment during the class hours or the pen paper test, they had a lot of exercises that were based on listening and on speaking, where teachers tried their best to integrate the Cambridge models. Parents are also very happy to see this transition in the question papers of the primary and middle school levels, and this also helped them to view the pattern of papers that were used by the Cambridge Assessment English. I think the next slide, please. We need the next slide. Yeah, thank you. Mock examinations were also conducted for all the students in the month of August, and the main objective was to inform the parents about the performance of their wards and about the skills they possess to speak fluently or to write good sentence structures. Parents were very happy with this initiative, and they also realized the need to improve the language skills of their wards, and this also gave them the added value of Cambridge examinations. We also, the next slide. Yes, we conducted a lot of parents' orientation sessions, and the Cambridge team has always been very supportive to conduct these orientation programs for parents, especially for the parents of our new campuses. We have 4 new campuses which have come up, and thanks to Mr. Kevin Coyne, who had supported us in all our endeavor and has taken efforts to bring to light the value of Cambridge examinations to parents. And Kevin was also there on a Sunday afternoon or morning to patiently respond to parents who were either in Kumbakonam or Karur or Kanjipuram. Thank you so much, Kevin, for all the support and guidance. We also had model lessons. We tried to create a lot of model lessons, and we invited parents to view this model lesson when we were teaching it to the wards. The parents were also invited, and this gave the parents the opportunity to view, such interesting and interactive methods that were adopted to help the students read or speak better. Now, the parents were really convinced, and they also found a lot of advantage in the program, and they were really motivated to enroll their kids for the Cambridge examinations. And we should say that the new campuses where parents were really not exposed to all of these English language patterns, they are really motivated, and we have many more entries coming in for examinations this year from most of the campuses, especially the new campuses. Now, we also had selection of toppers at all levels based on the mock exam that we conducted, and also with the last year's performance. The mock exam actually paved the way to get the toppers list from all the campuses, and we brought all the toppers of Cambridge examinations, and we also gave them an orientation session by inviting very good speakers who were able to motivate them to speak better or speak well. Now, we also asked them, or asked the toppers, like what were their aspirations and what is really wanting you to speak English better. So these children also came up with a lot of good things that they wanted to say, and there was a lot of very personal connect that we had with the Arcola team and the speakers and the learners. And children also were given the thought or the ideas about how Cambridge would really help them fulfill their dreams to reach the global stage. Now, we also had the Best Students and the Best Teachers Award that really worked like magic. And the teachers were also motivated to design more activities that we all shared as offline worksheets. And our directors were also very, very generous in rewarding the students with a lot of appreciation certificates. Students who were regular in their submissions and also worked with greater interest were rewarded for their consistent efforts to excel. I thank Faisal, Mary Rani ma'am, and Dr. Suresh, who play a very vital role for our college team to raise the standard of work. Our college team is always indebted to the Cambridge team at Chennai and for their continuous support and encouragement that has helped us to soar greater heights. Thank you once again for this wonderful opportunity, and I'm sure these best practices can be definitely, used by many more schools, and I'm sure you all will do and rock better. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Navneetam ma'am, for that wonderful comment in the end. Uh, Now, let's quickly, I would like to kind of request Arun and Manish to be on board. We'll quickly address some questions that people might have commented. If not, you can just place your questions in the comment box and we'll pick it up from there. And the panelists over here, they will be able to answer any questions to kind of.
Dr. Tripur.
So I guess we have Arun over here online with me. Hi, welcome back, Arun.
Good morning, good afternoon now. So I'm just hoping if people can type your questions away. There was one query on some of the links that were shared during the presentation. The whole presentation will be emailed to all the participants, so don't worry about it. The presentation will have the links that you can click through to get it. So at the end of this, we will, end of today, I think an email will be sent to you to refer to all the presentation that we have done.
Well, I guess, are there any questions that participants might have? Because we are still...
Just hang on a minute. We'll just hang on a minute. We are slightly delayed, so we apologies for that. But if there are any questions, there is a question now. Last year, CAE exam was in online mode. Will it be the same this year? The C1 Advanced, if that is what you're referring to, Mr. Harsha Kumar, will continue to be online for the near future because it is acknowledged for high stakes test for migration to Australia, to UK and other places. So we feel that the computer-based test meets all those stringent requirements. So we'll continue to offer C1 Advanced as a computer-based format. Will we receive a certificate for this workshop? Definitely yes. Participation letters will be sent to all the participants who have attended most of the session today. Tomorrow and day after, it will be emailed to you as well.
We'll just give it a couple of more seconds for any questions. If there are any lingering questions that we might have missed. Till then, we just have two more questions left with the polls. Any advice? Should we go ahead and have a poll?
Yes, just have quickly finished the poll as well, Apur, before we sign off.
Sure. So please, if you guys are on desktop, please check on the right-hand side. If you're viewing this particular webinar on phone, it would be on the bottom. So the question is, has preparing for a standardized internationally benchmarked language assessment from Cambridge helped in developing communication skills at your institution? So again, we just want to kind of measure what is the impact on the students.
In the meanwhile, I can see a question coming up if the YLE exams can be taken online. We are currently piloting remote delivery of the Cambridge English qualifications where students can do the examinations from home. It is still a pilot. There are a lot of security and privacy issues, especially for young children if they need to do the test online. So we are trialing. I think we will probably have the end of the trial done next month, and we'll probably share some information. But over than this academic year, it is unlikely that we will have an online session for wirely speaking.
Okay, so this would be a rather interesting one. Just pick that question up from Manisha's slide. That would you be interested in online AI-based assessments for secondary school students? Since we are talking a lot about online assessments and online exams, so I think this would rather serve as a very useful insight on the decision making out there and the demand from the market. So I think 95% of the people have indicated that yes, they would be interested in online AI-based assessment for secondary schools.
Apu, there's a question on they have not received the link for the Cambridge Live Experience session.
Right. So for Cambridge Live Experience session, after registering for this webinar, there would have been a follow-up screen, which would have asked your details. So if you have provided and registered for those events, you will receive the link for Cambridge Live sessions as well.
So I guess almost all of you have registered for the Cambridge Live Experience. Some of these sessions are really phenomenal sessions. So we wish you continue to enjoy those sessions as well. If there is any feedback, please do join in. Some of you have indicated you have not got the schedule. I think please check your email. Please check your spam email as well, because it was a bulk mail. It may have landed in your spam. If you have chosen the right sessions you'd like to attend, you should have got an email. Please check your spam folder. If not, try re-registering right now. I'm not sure if it is open right now, but I think some of you have indicated you've not got it. Just check your spam folder if you've chosen the right session you want to attend. If not, I think if there is a challenge, then what we will try and do is we will share the recorded session. So we ask special permission to share the recorded session. We will share it with all of you as well once the session is over. Yes, some of them have confirmed that they've already received the links. So some of them have said they have not received. So please check the spam folder. That is the only advice that we can share right now. If not, we will share the recordings of those sessions. I think after the 3 days are over, we'll share the recording of those sessions with you.
Okay, Vani has confirmed that they have received and they are attending the session.
Yes, so I'm so sorry if some of you have not registered, because it's an automated process. The moment you choose the session, you're getting links right away for them. If you have not got it, I think try registering right now if possible. If not, I think we will share the webinar link or the recorded links for you. So with that, we'll have to bring this session to a close, because in another 5 minutes, the Cambridge Live sessions are starting. So many of you would be enrolled, would have enrolled for that as well. On behalf of the team from Cambridge, we'd like to thank you all for attending. As we said, this is the first time we are doing it online. We appreciate your feedback. I think whenever you have the time, if you can share your feedback on how the session worked, was it useful, would you want anything else covered, feel free to share it with us. We will definitely try and reach that information to you at the earliest. Just a recap, participation certificates will be issued, and the whole presentation will also be emailed to all the participants today. With that, I'd like to thank the team behind the show. I think there's a lot of effort put in by various colleagues in the Cambridge English team in South Asia. I think it's good teamwork, as you've seen, multiple people involved, multiple teams involved. So I'd like to thank my colleagues for putting up a pretty good session. Hope you all found it useful. So thanks a lot once again. And if there are any questions, feel free to type away. We will get back to you separately. If not, enjoy the rest of the Cambridge Live sessions. We are repeating the same session tomorrow and day after. So if you're also registered for tomorrow and day after, it's only a repeat session. So you may want to ask some of your colleagues to attend if you think it is going to be useful for them. But if you've already attended today, I think you don't have to necessarily attend tomorrow and day after's ACC session, because it's going to only be a repeat session. But you can pass on this message to other colleagues, and we are more than happy to get them involved in this. Thank you once again. Thanks a lot.
Thanks a lot, everyone.